Oh, okay. Okay, I think we're up.
Hey, we're gonna go no countdown this time. That's
I
perfect.
think we're up.
We're not up on
And
Instagram though.
I'm streaming on. Where are we going? We're on. Well, I'm on Twitch, and I get my monitor. It's
Okay,
like
Facebook.
this is why the countdown's important, because then we get our little minute to figure out our crap.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
There's my monitor. Okay, now I can see what's happening with TikTok.
Yeah, I
There we
can't get
go.
Instagram.
Learning.
There we
Where's my
go. Now
thing?
we got.
It's gone. Hang on. There it is. Switched over here. Okay,
So,
where am I?
okay, the viewing angle is entirely different on Instagram though. God, this is crazy. So I gotta flip it over here. Now we
We're
gotta go
learning.
that way. Oh,
See, it's
well, we're trying
Windows.
to,
I have
anyways.
to, but now I can't see my chat. Isn't that a
But
bugger?
I cannot, I can't get this working right either.
We're getting there. Hang on a second. We're figuring this out. Chat.
So I've got half of you.
Hey, Tash is there. Okay. If I do this, we're good.
See, so here's the weird thing. I've got half of you on one screen and half of me on the other screen. So that makes no sense.
No, it doesn't, but we're learning.
Yeah, I can see my
doing good,
right
Tash.
ear and your left ear. So this is wonderful.
It's looking right on my end. But
yeah, it does not look good on my end.
Well, hang on. What if I change this? Does it look like? Can you? Oh, you're vertical.
Yeah.
Okay,
I switched over to vertical.
Okay, let's just do this. Okay, so let's start where we ended with the last time. We were talking about. Let's start with the light stuff first, because this is going to get pretty deep and pretty heavy. Did you find a Canadian bourbon? There is no such thing.
Hold on, I'm turning off the Instagram there because that's just silly. That makes no sense.
Be running.
I did not find anything, so I was like, well, I'm going to finish off some of the American bourbon I have and get that over with. Now, I did hear that there was some good Canadian bourbons.
But here's the thing: for it to be bourbon, it has to be done in Kentucky, right?
Right. So it's got to be Canadian whiskey. Really,
you need a Canadian whiskey that's got more corn in it than anything else.
Yep.
So because of the
fact,
what
we've got here. There's a few. There's one called BRBN bourbon style whiskey. So it is a bourbon styled whiskey. So
I was looking for something that was a little. I said, listen, let's just say we ended with no bourbons coming into Canada for some strange reason. They don't know if it's going to happen or not. I found this. This is a Canadian whiskey that has. I don't know who this guy is. Where are we?
Who's it? Wayne Goretzky.
I think he's a baseball player.
I think he
played baseball for the Rough
Riders. Blue Bombers.
Yeah. But we're in a maple cask whiskey, so this was
interesting.
Aged in a maple syrup barrel.
Very good. And
I guess we'll find out in 2 seconds.
It's not bad. Now, do you have one of those home smoking kits?
I do. You know what? I got one of those a couple years ago, either for Valentine's Day or Father's Day, and it sits right on your glass, and you light it.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of different woods that you can do, and I use it for an old fashioned. I think I was using it for.
Yeah. Aren't they fantastic?
And it's a ridiculous ceremony. It's like having a ceremony for a drink.
Yeah.
And going back to ceremonies for drinks, go ahead.
If you want to talk about ceremony for a drink, okay, there's a place that I was in Toronto a few years back. I can't remember what it is. I can pull it up. But they have this. They have a drink there, and I think it was it $60 or $80 for the drink. Okay, it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money, right? And we're going. You know what? This has got to be something worth trying. Okay, so of course I ordered it. Right? Of course we got it. Right? And it comes in like the glass is huge, and there's like a chunk of ice the size of a baby's fist, right? Put it in there, right?
Nice.
Yeah, they put the drink into it, so it's I can't remember. It was like some cherry liqueur and Crown Royal and all this sort of stuff put in there. Okay, and then they have a huge glass dome they put over top of it, and
Right.
and inside of it they have coals like wood chips that are all lit on fire. So they bring this huge plate out, okay, and you see just this smoke-filled glass dome. They come over to your table, they lift it up, and the smoke just goes up. And there's like hot coals smoldering around the drink, and the drink is nestled right in the middle.
It'd be worth it
Coolest
just for
drink.
the experience.
Oh,
Was it
you know
good?
what? It was good. Now, was it $80 tasty? No, but it was $80 cool. I'll completely say that.
Well, and here's the thing: we like to treat ourselves, and there's nothing wrong here. You spent $80 on dumber stuff than that,
Absolutely.
right? So let's daboja to getting down to business.
Just stupid drinks. But after I saw that drink, I've run into a lot of places that do a smoked infused drink in the bars. Okay, so
Yeah.
when I was down Charlotte, North Carolina, we went to a little speakeasy that was there, and they had smoke infused drinks as well. So they have they have coals there, and they take a blowtorch, and they blowtorch it, and they catch all the smoke in the glass.
Right.
Okay, and then they trap and they make your drink and then give it to you. And amazing drink. But that was a place that was definitely not cheap. Okay, it was not cheap, but it was by far the coolest place ever. So on discussion with the barkeeps, or I don't know what you would call them, because they're all dressed up in suspenders and all this old fashioned
Bartenders.
stuff, right? I guess
Bartenders.
so.
Nothing fancy.
They're cooler than that. But
Right.
I said, "What was the craziest night that you guys have ever had?" Okay,
Okay.
and he goes, "Craziest night? Yeah, that was a long time ago. It was the night that Elton John came in."
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And he said that wasn't the crazy part, because shortly after that, Prince came in too. Had both of them in the bar at the same time.
That would be a crazy night. Like, it's I love the idea of bars and restaurants where celebrities come in. There was a gentleman who I used to work with whose son worked at a restaurant in Winnipeg, and Robin Williams actually showed up at the restaurant,
Oh,
and
jeez.
he was
Yeah.
just entertaining everybody at every table. Like, it's phenomenal. And again, these people, it's awesome to see the humanity of them, how they're just like, oh, let's hang out. It's great. They
Movie
appreciate the
stars,
fact that people want to talk to you, right?
those people, right? So,
Those people.
yeah.
I'm going to recommend this to people. Maple Cask Canadian whiskey, Wayne Gretzky.
Interesting.
It is smooth and it doesn't taste like syrup, but it's aged in a maple syrup barrel,
Excellent.
which is crazy. Hey, Aaron, how's it going?
So the problem I have with Canadian whiskey is it's typically rye whiskey,
Right.
and I find it just way too sweet.
It's a little sweet, and it's like because I come from Dauphin, where I mean the fanciest whiskey we had was Seagram's 83, and that's the only thing that I generally buy as far as just a whiskey goes.
Yeah.
I don't have a palate for whiskey. I like bourbon because it tastes like something.
Yeah,
like it has a distinct flavor. Scotch I can live without. I'll drink Scotch. Irish whiskey, to me, it's Scotch that's made in Ireland. But no, I think
it's very true.
It is.
There are some pretty interesting different drinks. Now, I tried a Japanese whiskey.
Of course you did.
And that stuff will put hair in your teeth. Like that stuff's got some kick into it. But God, I can't remember what it was called. It was came in it was a small little bottle,
Is it
glass
sake?
bottle. But it was no, it was clearly whiskey, very clearly whiskey. And it was really good. Suntory is another one that's fantastic if you like something
And it's
a little
Japanese.
different. But but the one that I always they'll continue to buy that I really like is the Crown Royal Northern Harvest.
I don't know if I've tried that.
For about $39, it's award winning.
Really?
It was like whiskey of the year, yeah, and it's fantastic.
I gotta say this is dancing on my tongue nicely, and this is I'm impressed. Recommend it. But yeah, I guess I don't buy a lot of different. Captain Morgan. Hey,
Or you like it?
I'm
You like that
surprised
one, eh?
because I thought it would taste like syrup, but
So it's the great one.
I guess he
the
did
great
some
one.
stuff. I've heard the name.
Yeah.
Gretzky.
Yep. Yep. He has a wine.
He's the wine guy. That's who he is. The guy with
He's
the
the wine
winery.
guy.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. I was gonna say, where have I heard that
Yeah.
name before? Captain Morgan Old Spice
Yeah.
rum is good.
It's
You know
gotta be
what?
somewhere
And
else.
I got Aaron talking about Captain Morgan Old Spice rum. You know what? Everybody has their taste. You know, it's rum. I have to have the right day for it. I'm a summer rum drinker, I think. Versus the wintertime, it's like a whiskey every once in a while. Never been a beer guy. We've talked about that. And
Yeah,
to each their own. You know, I think that it's good to try new things. I thought I was gonna regret buying this one, but I thought since we're gonna try and find something that can take the place of a bourbon or something that's a little different, let's try this.
Like that's the one I've got. It's called Yellowstone.
Apparently that's a TV show as well.
Yeah, there's a movie, I guess, or something like that. So it's okay. It's not bad. It's leather with hints of citrus.
Did you say
and
leather
oak,
with hints of
if you
citrus
like
and
that
oak?
smell. Leather. Yeah.
So they boil it in a saddle and then they brine it.
Yes, so they put it in a horse and just let it sit there, I guess. Yeah. But, you know, wouldn't that be just the craziest job ever? You know, to make booze.
What's
just
interesting
moonshine,
is that if you
right?
go to
high
if
quality,
you go to where Jack Daniels is made, it's actually a dry county. You can't buy a bottle.
Is it really?
But if you do the tour,
that's crazy.
I guess they will give you drinks, but you can't buy a drink in the county that Jack Daniels is distilled in.
That's great.
Well,
that makes no sense.
It's a thing. There are dry counties. There's dry areas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a.
What I find interesting is how much was that bottle that you had there? Yeah.
I think it was $39, something like that.
How much was whiskey and stuff 20 years ago? 30 years ago when we started drinking?
I don't think that whiskey and the hard liquor went up as fast as beer did. And I'm not a beer guy, but I remember back in the day, a case of beer, it worked out to be like $1 a bottle, right? So a 12-pack was like
so a 2-4
24 $28 for a 2-4. And the last time I drove by a beer vendor, and I haven't been in a vendor since maybe summer. I'll buy a case for the camper, but it's like $50 for a 2-4.
Okay, so
it's more than
doubled. So there's no way alcohol, like hard liquor, has doubled.
No, I think that the average bottle, like the average 26, say, Seagrams was 23. It might be 27 now. Like it hasn't, or 26. It hasn't changed that much.
I remember buying Glenmorangie Scotch for, I think it was 45. And I don't know what it would be now, like 65, 70, maybe. Some of these things are going to go up with import fees too, right? But how much was the Wayne Gretzky?
$39, right? But it's also Canadian.
Yeah, you're not paying. And so you're not. We weren't paying $15 for a bottle.
No, booze. I don't remember paying that little for a bottle of liquor.
No, like I would have drank a lot more at a young.
Then again, at a young age, you and your buddies would split a bottle of root beer schnapps, and it was a Mickey, and everybody was feeling great after splitting that tiny little flask.
Oh, you know, I'll very happily say that I did not.
Root beer schnapps. Apparently, that's the snowmobiler's choice of liquor. So if you're out sledding, doing $1.20 down something that's not a road, that's what you're sipping on. Which to me, as a guy that rides a motorcycle, the idea of drinking before riding, like even down in Sturgis, I remember bikers. The rule was 2 drinks, 2 wheels. That's it. You're cut, and that's it. And I couldn't imagine. And you're on a road, like you're on a road that you know where the road goes, and you know that you can travel on that road safely, even after a drink or two. But the idea of being on a sled where you're on not a road, and you can hit anything that's on that not a road, doing right to the pin because everybody puts it right to the pickle with their thumb.
Of course.
I don't get it, man. Like that is God bless them if they survive.
That's like, no, the last thing you want to be doing is hitting some barbed wire or something at
That
a high
happens.
speed, drinking on a
That
bottle of
happens.
liquor.
And
right?
you know what? It's you feel bad when an accident happens. However, if it's a poker derby and everybody's having a drink at every stop, and the next thing you
Kind of
know,
like,
the guy rangs into
kind
something.
of what happens. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Steve's back. I'm trying to figure out where he's.
So that's too risky.
It's risky.
That's
It's risky.
business.
But hey, talking about risk, let's get into this.
Yeah.
Let's get into this deep dive, man, because I listened to a podcast that absolutely disgusted me with the porn industry to a point where
Yeah.
it's disturbing enough knowing that, I mean, it's a real thing, and there's a legit business as well, but the user generated content.
Yep. Yeah, whether it's the OnlyFans or whatever.
Well,
it is.
OnlyFans is a little bit different, right? Because OnlyFans is almost like its own social media thing where you post your stuff on your channel, right?
Yep.
And I think you talked about that a while ago. Like, how did OnlyFans start? Tell me that story again, because I have it on an old podcast. I still haven't popped up yet. But
I that wasn't originally porn, though. That was the thing. It
for
was
chefs.
there's just all these different. There's cooking and there's all these other things that are on there, but it's got such a connotation with the porn industry that if Quentin was like, "Hey, check out my OnlyFans," they're gonna be like, "Oh,
right." And I could just
really?"
be solving Rubik's Cube real quick. Like, it could be anything.
Right, and that's the thing. So I mean, if you go to OnlyFans, it just says sign up and support your favorite creators. It's very clean looking, and the first post that pops up is Valentine's Day hairstyles. What's this one? Boxing. So it's a comedy show and stuff. This one's seafood, so it's a cooking show.
I'm gonna
I don't know what
I'm
they're
gonna sound
cooking,
really
though.
naive when I can tell everybody right now that I've never punched OnlyFans into any Google search ever in my life. Ever.
I just did now. And okay, so I get it because it's like, no, this one says learn how to crochet, and it ain't a granny doing it.
Okay.
It ain't an old lady.
What's she
that.
making?
So,
we don't want to watch. Don't look.
Yeah.
Don't look.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I think it was OnlyFans. OnlyFans is, like I said, it started with people, creators. Like, should we be streaming on OnlyFans? Like, should that be happening? Hey, bro, are you talking about?
Okay, so there was a post that I saw, and it was a creator, and they posted like some sort of educational content on YouTube, and then they got the idea, what if I posted it on the Canadian,
Right.
Pornhub, right? And she got paid better.
Better than you or I would ever get paid, I'm sure.
Well, better than she was on YouTube.
That's true. I mean, money talks, right? But
yeah. And none of her stuff was any of that. It was the same video.
Really?
Right? It's just people click onto it. They don't know really what it is, and the analytics track better.
Well, I think that when you're searching stuff on something like OnlyFans, I believe that the audience has changed from people looking for crocheting to people looking for really other things.
Crochet.
Right. So I mean, that's changed, but here's the thing. When you're creating on your own channel, like let's look at this, whether it's the TikTok, the Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, we're in control of everything that we're doing, right? However, nothing is stopping somebody else from downloading our content and firing it off somewhere else. And they can do whatever they want with it.
Well, have you ever had your stuff stitched off TikTok?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I have.
Yeah. All of a sudden, unless you turn that off, and even then, they can just download it and stitch it anyways. You've got, what's that bodybuilder? Swole?
What's Johnny Swole or whatever they call him?
Something like that, right? And he always stitches it and tells people to smart enough, right?
And again, you can have your stuff, and this is where I think it's important that we talk about this, because when people put something online, there aren't the checks and balances you would think are there. Okay. And
Yeah.
the podcast I was talking about, it was the Theo Vaughn podcast, and it was Layla Mickelwaite who really took on Pornhub and big porn and said there are no checks and balances regarding who is on these videos and whether this is consensual. Okay. So
Right.
although
Here it is. Yep. It's what was your
Layla
name?
Mickelwaite.
Layla Mickelwaite, you said. That was episode 559.
And like I've listened to that episode 3 times at the gym, and I was
Yeah.
blown away by the fact that you or I could become a verified uploader, right? So we can become a verified uploader, which
Yep.
means that we can upload whatever we want onto Pornhub.
Yep.
And
Yep.
however, there is no checks and balances as far as who's in the video and whether they consented to
Correct.
having their video put up.
Correct. And even then, you really want to be making sure you have all those consent forms in triplicate or whatever it might be.
But that's not the case. Like there's a story that she
No.
talks about. It was a 14-year-old girl, 14 or 15 years old, and her ex
Right.
actually posted something that either she sent him or it was a video or picture, and it went right to Pornhub. And after millions of views, she found out that it was up there, and she couldn't get it down. And suddenly, her life spiraled. Like she ended up living in a car eventually. This ruined her life. And when you have the ability to take anything that you have in your phone, on your computer, and post it up there without any real checks and balances, because they had, in order for a video to go under review, it has to get a minimum of 15 flags on it. Okay. So she had
really? Wow,
you need 15 complaints or 15 flags on it. Now, of the millions of videos that go through these websites, there was one person reviewing it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you can tell where they make their money when they don't have any staff. So good luck trying to get a complaints through or any problems or anything.
Right. And content is king. So the more content that you've got, the more advertisers are paying to have it on their site. Yeah. And when they talk about big pharma, big tobacco, big everything, there's actually big porn.
Yeah.
And Pornhub is the king.
Yeah.
And all these other sites, you think that is the legit one of all of them, which would make sense that it seems like the most legit. But all of the other ones, there are dozens of other ones that they control.
Yeah.
And they feed. So there was a time apparently where,
because it takes nothing just to throw them up there. Yeah, like you can find the most popular sites. There's whole lists of them, and the analytics. They're all easy to find. And here we go. The top most popular pornographic websites. November 2024. Total visits in billions. Pornhub 5.25 billion.
Well, I mean, it's popular. But then,
well, how many for YouTube? How many hits does YouTube get? Like, I don't know. Well, they don't tell you.
YouTube's got a pile. I mean, the analytics are going to be different for that.
They've got a pile.
But when you look at something like Pornhub, where you can basically take whatever you got and pop it up there.
Yeah.
And I guess at one time they had a download button on their site where you could download whatever you saw. So if you saw a video you were into, you could download it, save for later.
Okay.
Well,
save.
But once you've downloaded it and you pop it off to another site, or even you screen record it. So this girl in particular, it was on Pornhub, but it had already spread to so many other things that even if she got it pulled down from Pornhub, it was everywhere. Like it's a life sentence. It's a life sentence, and it's not going away. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, right?
Yeah.
And
well, there's been the professional actresses who got out of the industry who have now said, I would like everyone to just stop watching any of my stuff. I've moved on from that. It's like, well, good luck.
But there is also the actual industry. like there's two sides to this.
Yeah.
One is creator content, like like where I create something, I put it up somewhere just like this is. Then there's actual studio porn, and that it's heavy on the rules. It's not this.
Yeah, it's more regulated.
Heavily regulated. So
yeah,
these are studios. These are professional actors, whatever you want to call them, writers.
Maybe not heavily,
right? But they're all of age.
Checks and balances.
They're all consenting, and it doesn't go out unless that happens. Like you're not on set and unless that's happened. Where when you're watching something now, here's the thing. If you're into something, let's just say you're into some of these subgenres that are within the industry and you're into, let's go bondage, let's go whatever. How do you know that person wants to be there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, wasn't that the case with Gian Gomeshi?
What happened to Gian Gomeshi? He was he was an anchor, wasn't
he? He was abusing. Yeah, he was an anchor, a Canadian anchor, and he was abusing women. And it was a lot of it was caught on videotape, apparently, too.
And did it get distributed? I guess it doesn't really matter.
That was kind of before the time, though. Kind of before, the big rise of streaming and everything, right? So,
yeah, that's true. But I mean, it's the dangers are so prevalent, and I mean, we've had two pretty disgusting things happen in our city in the last year with kids.
Yeah. Well, there was the daycare.
Well, I'll put this up right now, and you can see exactly what we're talking about here. Where's my screen share? This is a story that was shared by our local police department. Can you even see that? Not really. Okay, production of child pornography, possession of child pornography, distribution of child pornography, sexual assault, sexual interference assault on February 3rd, 2025. Brandon Police Service, Major Crime Section.
You're gonna get shut down by repeating those words too, though. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's just say this is a news story where you had a somebody can screenshot this if they really want to, but you've got a daycare that also had, I believe, half a dozen foster kids in their care, and this is the most recent one that we've heard about.
Yeah.
Now, when you've got there's two really disgusting sides to this. One, there's a market for it. And that's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gone? You're out? You're done? Okay.
Nope. Just gotta turn the heater off. I'm cooking.
So one, there's a market for it. Two, there are people willing to fill the need in that market. And
the production of it.
And these kids, much like the story with this 14-year-old girl in the States, this is a life sentence. Right?
Yeah.
Like this is not going away. You can't bring it back once it's out, no matter how hard you try.
Nope, exactly.
And how does somebody sleep at night? Like as a dad, okay, as a father, you're a father, and we have kids, and I'm pretty careful as to how much I share on my social medias with kids, what I share.
Yes,
because who knows who's looking at it? Who knows why they're looking at it? And when I hear stories like this, where the list is sickening and long, and the fact that people can do this, produce it so easily is insanely disturbing.
Yeah. Well, what does a camera cost? And you see how small those things are now.
Cameras are cheap. And here's the other thing. AI is an amazing thing. And I've been to a lot of AI seminars, and I've learned a lot, and I use it a lot, and I do a lot of video editing. And what's interesting is if you do a lot of video editing and you use a lot of AI, not only can I make something, but I can unmake something. Like if it looks like it's AI and it's been changed, there's a way to figure it out and pull it back.
Yeah.
And you can take a photo. I could take a photo of you, Jayon, and I could animate that photo and make you look like you're, I don't know, eating a popsicle or whatever else.
Yeah.
So when you've got kids, like adults will make dumb decisions. I get it. Adults,
Oh, of
if
course.
you're
Yeah.
if you're an adult and you're making stupid decisions, I feel for you. If it gets out of hand.
Yeah. It'll get
But
you. Yeah.
when I could literally take a photo and make that photo do whatever I
Yeah.
want it to do, and suddenly that gets produced in a matter of 45 minutes, it's barely an inconvenience to do something.
Yeah.
That kid will be living with that for the rest of their lives, knowing that it's out there.
Talk about cyberbullying, right? That's a
This
whole
is the
new
new
world of
generation of
things.
cyberbullying. Like, it's not just a
Yeah.
matter of
Because now it's going to be like now it's, you remember like back in the old day, it was like, say hi to your mom
Mhm.
for me, right? Now it's going to be a whole different
well,
story.
and let's go down the rabbit hole for 1 second. You look at subgenres within the industry. And again, you're going to
Yeah.
see your straight, your gay, your bondage porn, your this, that, and everything else. But you look at something like stepdad, stepmom, that's a subgenre.
Yep. Yep.
And what happens when somebody is a teenager and they're seeing that this, because here's the thing, there was a time when you had to go to the back room at Rogers or go
Yep.
to a,
It's all locked down. You had to sneak in there or
right.
whatever it was, right?
You had to somehow rent it or whatever the case was. And now it's a click of a mouse and you can find whatever you desire. It's out there.
Yep.
And
And if you don't find it, you can make it.
you
can
can
have
make it
made
with
up.
your with a short video you had of someone you dated 10 years ago. That's the scary part of
exactly.
this. There's a lot of scary things, but
Yep.
it's so easy to do that literally anybody with 5
Yep.
minutes learning how to use the AI systems can make it happen.
Yep.
Right.
That's a terrifying thing for
And
anybody, because now you got to make sure that anything could be out there. So actually, there was a video I saw of Facebook where they
okay.
had a journalist or something came in, and it was an investigation to see how easy it was with AI to do identity theft. So they had her on stage and it was a big presentation, and they took everything they could of her, they found out all the information of her, and they fabricated a story. And Zuckerberg was right there. They're talking about it was an affair between this writer or journalist or whatever and Zuckerberg,
Sure.
and they fabricated the whole thing. And they started off really simple, right? It's like there's some stories and there's publications that AI generated and made them
Right.
all up. And then it went, like they made these pictures of the two of them walking together, holding hands. Everyone's laughing, right? And then they started making it more so, where there were opinion pieces, where there were posts on social media, and people are commenting on it, and they're all bots, AI generated bots. So there's conversations going on about, who is a sleazy person and all these things, like attacks on her character. And then they went further because they sampled her voice and created
Yep.
whole conversations and had phone calls of her saying, hey, I'd like to meet up again. Had a great time last night. And she's there listening. At first, it's kind of funny for her. And afterwards, she's like, oh my God, like it's like completely out of control. She's like, what do I do? Like that is my voice. That is me saying, that's my speech patterns, everything. That is me. And
Right.
she was like, it very quickly turned terrifying, on how much power people could have and how little control she could have with the whole situation.
Well, and let's put that into exactly what we're doing right now. You do a lot of social media posts. I do a lot of social media posts, and I'm going to
Yeah.
assume that the average teenager does a pile of social media posts, right?
Yes.
So if you had AI scrape what they know about you, they could put together a synthetic version of you
Yep.
doing whatever you want it to do. Like, if do you use which AI do you use regularly? I use Copilot for the most part.
I mainly
Because
use
it's
ChatGPT.
okay. So, have you ever asked it? And are you signed into you're signed into it,
I've
right?
got it right here. Got it
Okay.
right here. And
So,
actually, hold on. One thing here, if you want to see who it is, the person who did this thing, her name is Lori Siegel. Okay,
Okay.
Segall. And she says, and this is on X. This is a crazy story of how AI created a world where I was in a deep fake relationship with Mark Zuckerberg, and what that says about the future of AI and disinformation. So, and it was a whole demo for him, but it was completely unreal. So,
Deepfake is the next level, right?
yeah, yeah,
And here's the thing: if you go on to your AI, you go to whatever you're
yeah,
using, ask it a question, random. Say, for what you know about me,
yeah.
how do you think I would react in X situation?
Okay, hold on. Do you know about me? How would I react to what kind of situation?
Um, it depends on what
Deep
you've been
fake,
putting into. No, how would you react to?
identity theft.
Oh, make it simple. Make it very simple. Make it a real world type thing. How would I react to somebody getting my order wrong at a coffee shop? Make it very simple.
At Starbucks. There we go.
Right. So here's what AI knows, and this is the danger with the amount of young people that use AI on the regular is that
Yep.
this thing knows you.
Yep.
So what did it say? How would your reaction be? You tell me. You read it and tell me if it's even close to how you'd
Okay.
react.
Based on what I know about you, you'd likely handle it with a mix of patience, practicality, and maybe a bit of humor. There you go. You're
You are
disciplined
correct.
and focused on efficiency, so you wouldn't make it a big fuss, but you'd also want to be paid for. If it's a minor mistake, you might just roll with it and move on, especially if you're in a rush. But if it's something significant, like getting a sugary drink when you order black coffee, you'd politely but firmly ask for it to be corrected. You also understand systems and business operations, so you probably see it as a simple miscommunication rather intentional incompetence. If the barista seems stressed, you might even throw in a casual, hey, no worries, I know it gets busy before getting things started. If it happened repeatedly at the same location, then that's when the efficiency-minded entrepreneur in you might start mentally dissecting their workflow and thinking about how they could improve their systems. There you go.
Doesn't it sound exactly like how you'd react?
Very much so. Very much
Right.
so.
So let's just say you've got a couple kids in high school. And I'm going to use high school because this is where heavy damage can happen, right? So you have an ex who
Yep.
has who can access your Google account. Let's just say that's a
Yep.
possibility. And he goes into her or she goes into his
Yep.
AI and says, based on what you know about me,
Yep.
how would I act if I was doing this action? It's going to tell you. And then
Yep.
you're going to take that, put that into your deep fake,
Yep.
right? Put that into your deep fake with a couple photos, maybe a video, and let
Yep.
it do its thing. Wait an hour and see what it comes up with. And boom, suddenly that's sitting on social media somewhere or on Pornhub or any of these affiliate sites. That's how quick
Yep.
and that's how dangerous this is. And when I see people oversharing their
Yep.
kids, and I can't stress how much oversharing like if you're putting a photo of your child every single day. So
Yep.
chronologically, the world can see your kid growing up. And I get it. We're proud of our kids and we like to put them up
Yep.
there. But if it's so much that the system can see how this kid's going to grow up,
Yep.
how they're going to look, how they're going to act, what they're into, how they like it, that's where you're setting your kid up for some major problems.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. And I mean, I had somebody reach out. This is a couple years ago. I had somebody reach out to me asking, they had a daughter who was 7 or 8, maybe, and said, hey, our daughter would like to start a YouTube channel.
Yep.
Any advice? I said, don't.
Yeah.
I said, don't do it. Well, why not? Because again, you look at these YouTube channels where you have families or you have kids that are opening toys and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's so
Yeah.
common. But I said, here's the thing: be prepared for a few things. One, are you going to spend a pile of money on production, sound, and lighting to make sure this thing
Yes.
looks like a good system? Like it took me how long to even get my studio together where it looks and sounds good.
Yeah.
2, I can put up with negative comments and haters, and I can
Yeah.
live with the fact that some people aren't going to listen to or like what I'm saying. I
I've
can
had
live with
death
that.
threats. I've had death threats.
Right. Oh, hey, sorry guys. Tasha and Jason. Hey, buddy. Jason, tell me what the good question was, because Jason's in South Korea. You know JT,
Okay.
Jason Teal?
Okay. Yep.
He's on. It actually
cool.
happening in Korea. I wish I could open that right now, but I think I really want to see what you're saying. Can you see the chat? Can you see
Me?
the chat? Yeah.
Hold on. Ah, I
Open your
can.
chat.
Yeah.
Okay. So JT just said something. It happened here in Korea. People who slander the. Sorry, I had my chat closed for a second because I'm a rookie at this. Where did I leave off? Yeah, now I can see the comments. I had to close because I was looking at my notes because I'm an idiot and I can't write things down on paper anymore. Although I do write everything on paper, then I put it on the screen. Let me go back. Am I talking about the whatever podcast? No.
Oh, the coffee question.
The coffee question. So, okay. Oh, sorry. Going back to this person who asked me about their kid having a YouTube channel. And I said, absolutely not. One, again, you're gonna have to pay, you're gonna have to spend a lot of money on production. Two, you're gonna have to put up with a child can't handle the negative comments that are gonna come through the comment section. Right. So that's gonna affect them horribly. Three, the kids, the other kids in school are either gonna love it, hate it, be jealous of it, make fun of her.
Yeah.
Do you want that? And the biggest question that I asked was, how many 50-year-old men do you want watching your daughter?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I go, are you kidding me? Like, let's be real here for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Let's just say you have a guy who is married or whatever. He would never in a million years open up a Pornhub account.
Yeah.
But he'll look for the whatever's going to get his rocks off on YouTube because it's all there.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much of that do you want? Like, I get it. Everybody wants their kid to be a star. You know what? Maybe don't do that, because you are opening up a world of hurt, a world of abuse, and a world of what's the best way to put it? A world of
Attention.
negative attention, wrong attention. Like, I get it. We love our kids, but the last thing I want is, heaven forbid, a photo of our kids or a video of our kids by a pool that someone thinks that's hot. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So our job as parents is also to protect our kids.
Yeah, you got to go reach around those people.
Well, could you imagine? Like, could you imagine?
Well, here's the thing.
The last one that I heard of, which was not a child thing, it was somebody's spouse, without consent. Things got put up on the hub. Took 6 years for sentencing. 6 years.
Yeah, it's a long time.
It's a long time, and that's a system problem. That's not a that's not a dig on the people that went and investigated. But I mean, the hang up is that this is a long process, and that hurt, that whatever you want to call it, is not going away. It's there, and it's there forever. And when you have a revenge video put up, you have no control.
No,
you have no control. And looking at,
hope they got your best side. Really, that's all you can hope for.
Well, the problem is there's no way to control it, right? And the lack of controls are the problem. Where you look at these systems, you look at these websites where I could put a video up of whatever. Let's just say it was a studio, and you're putting up legit whatever it might be. Okay, fine. But still, they're not asking if these people are of age. They're not asking if they're consenting to what you're doing. They're not asking any of these things. I just became I didn't, but you can become a verified uploader, which means upload what you like.
Yep.
And hopefully it doesn't.
There was you heard that OnlyFans person with 1,000 men in 12 hours, right?
Jeez, yeah.
You heard about that, and it's been taken off of OnlyFans.
Why?
Why do you think they would probably take something like that off?
There's some pretty crazy stuff out there.
There's something illegal that happened, whether somebody lied about their age or whatever, right?
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So there was actually a video, like, it was going around on TikTok and Instagram, of a lineup of guys there, and a mom showed up to drag her son home.
No.
Yeah, just yelling at him and kicking his ass, right? Yeah. And so maybe it wasn't of age. How many people had fake identification or didn't fill out the paperwork appropriately,
Right.
or maybe there was maybe the person who owned the home, there was bylaws. That's a lot of people. There's all these potential things that could
Right.
have created some legality issues,
Well, I think. Oh,
let alone morality issues.
Well, the morality issue is you got one person who's there to break a record. So
Yeah.
I think that person's
Achievement
morality is,
unlocked.
yeah. Then again, who wants to be number 2 or number
Who wants to be number
999?
1,000?
No, not
Like, yeah.
Well, I'm looking at this, and JT said that a high school kid made deepfake videos of his female classmates in
Right.
pornographic situations and sold them.
Yeah, you can. That's going to cause some problems later on.
Well, the problem is that you can't prove that you weren't that person.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
yeah,
And again, I mean, I understand how these things are made, because I mean, I've played with AI and I've done a lot of
yeah,
just tooling with it. So if you've made 1 or 10, you know how
yeah,
to undo it. You can recognize what was done, and you can
yeah,
pull it back and find the source material.
yeah.
But the average person that's going to buy this video isn't looking at
No
that.
idea.
No, not a chance. They're consuming it. And
Yeah,
when you look at these sites, it's all content is king, right? No different than YouTube, Facebook, our own personal social media channels that we use.
yeah,
Content is king, right? So the more content we have out there,
yeah,
the more hits you get, the more likes you get, the more this you get, and the algorithm just feeds your material to other people. So these sites know that the more
yeah,
they get, the busier they are, the more advertising they
yeah,
sell, and they could
yeah.
care less who's being affected by it.
Oh yeah, they don't care. They don't care.
Right.
And when you start throwing AI into it, and all of a sudden it makes things so much more effective, efficient, realistic, or whatever it might be.
And AI sucked a year ago.
Yeah.
Like a year ago. I mean, you
It
made
was not good a year ago. It has made the leaps it has made is incredible. Do you have AI there, like on your computer?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, you remember, like, I got ChatGPT, like, I think it was like 3.0 or 2.0, and I've got the latest one. Okay.
Yeah.
So, this is what I typed in. Okay. Um, you should try this. It's actually really interesting because
Okay.
I'm assuming you have an account. You kind of knows a little bit about you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Type in this. If you were the devil, how would you destroy me?
Well, does it count that I'm Catholic?
Yeah. I would just
I'll
wait
put
till
that
the
in.
end, then I'll get you at the end. So,
If you were the devil, how would you destroy me?
yeah.
I typed like a child.
Hunt and peck, eh?
I'm not bad.
So I did that, and it gave me a full rundown, and it's like, wow, that's scary.
I said, how would you destroy me? I am Catholic. If that changes things.
And which one are you using?
Copilot.
I don't know that one. I've never used it.
I understand you're exploring a hypothetical scenario, but I cannot provide any content that involves harm, violence, or destructive behavior. Instead, how about we focus on something positive or meaningful? If you're interested, I can share some insights into how to strengthen your faith and overcome challenges in life. Mine's trying to get me to not jump off the bridge. What is yours telling you to do?
Okay. If I were the devil, I wanted to destroy you. I
Hey,
wouldn't
Canadian
come at
ape.
you with direct attacks. You'd see those coming a mile away. Instead, I do it slowly, subtly, and from within. I'll make you think you were still in control, all the while steering you off course. Here's how I would do it. I'll just give you just the bold face ones. Erode your discipline through small, justifiable slips. Kind of like you're crushing it today. Skipping today's workout it won't matter, it says. Number 2, weaponize your strengths against you. So I'd push you to work so hard on your goals that burnout becomes inevitable.
Oh, I thought you were going to kung fu everybody.
That too. Make you doubt your impact. Are you actually making a difference? Does anybody really care about me? Okay. Slowly shift your identity. I'd make you feel tired, older, and less capable, even when you're not. I'd surround you with people who subtly encourage comfort over challenge. It introduce chaos into your systems because you thrive in efficiency, strategy, and optimization, and make small but frequent technical failures to interrupt your workflow. I disconnect you from your tribe, introduce you to small conflicts, misunderstandings, and make you feel out of sync and alone. I'd distract you with the wrong battles. I'd get you caught up in pointless debates and have you chasing opportunities that look exciting but drain your time. Make you comfortable enough to stop evolving. Remove urgency from goals. Give you a string of easy wins, just enough success to stop you from feeling the need to evolve. The catch, you'd never see it coming. There'd be no single time of moment of collapse, just a gradual dulling of your edge. And that's how I destroy you. You go, how the hell did I get here?
Wow,
so that's kind of neat.
that's a deep dive into what could destroy you.
Yeah,
I
and I
just
said,
typed in,
but make it worse. Make me a literal husk of a man. But I won't go into that one because don't need to give you any ideas.
no. So now I'm going into the. I'm rewinding this back to where we started. I said, what would the impacts be of non-consensual videos uploaded to adult sites? Okay.
Yep.
Trauma, distress, loss of trust, reputation damage, stigma and shame, legal battles, lack of legal recourse. In some jurisdictions, there may be insufficient legal protections, leaving victims with limited options or distress. There might not even be, the legal system might not have caught up to the technology.
Yep.
The legal system hasn't caught up to the technology.
That's scary. They wouldn't know what to do.
No. And the damage is personal, or it's permanent. It's saying loss of control, secondary trauma. So the victim's loved ones would also feel distress, like your parents, your cousins, your uncles, and everything else. Strained relationships. You didn't even put this up, but maybe the person you're dating is suddenly seeing that you've got this is there.
Yeah.
Wow. The legal system
That's not
probably
terrifying at all, is it? Eh?
No, but
not
it just
terrifying at all.
Right, but JT's taking notes in South Korea. That's awesome, JT.
Yeah, great. Feel safer already.
Right, but here's the thing: the fact that the technology is evolving faster than even legal precedent can catch up to. How much damage will there be before there's not a solution, but this is scary. This is scary to the point where we don't know. Like we don't know. You don't know whether or not there's like we understand laws. We understand you break this law and here's the consequence, and this law here's the consequence. This and these laws. But if the laws haven't caught up to what's evolving to the point where it's pretty much out of control already, how long would it take? And would there be a lawyer or anybody else that's willing to say, okay, you know what? Someone needs to work on this like yesterday. Just like when I was at an AI summit and they said, if you are not heavily engaged in AI by now, you're 2 years behind.
Yep.
At best. Wow.
So when did you start using AI then?
I started using AI pretty much when they announced ChatGPT. I started playing with it. And then I started looking at other options, kind of playing with them a bit. Copilot I like because it's quick. It's very efficient. And then I went to a couple of AI summits, and the way that they described how we should be using it and how we should be learning it is no different than when you got your first cell phone and went to a smartphone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You better learn how to use it. And anybody saying, well, I don't want to learn it because it's scary. You know what? It's scarier if you don't understand it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's whatever you're using right now is the worst version of it you're ever going to use. How about that?
Yep.
This is the worst version.
It's going to be better next week. Next week will be better.
It'll be better next week.
Next week will be better. Like, that's scary.
Mm-hmm. What's the one that they made in China, like for $6 million?
Which one? There's DeepSeek, and then Alibaba also has one, and BitDance also came up with one like a week after.
For like $6 million.
3 AIs. Yeah, that'd be the DeepSeek, I think. Then, yeah.
So then explain to me how you've got companies in the States that are spending billions of dollars on AI, or did
Oh, that's
these
easy. That's easy.
how?
That's completely easy. When somebody is spending a lot of money doing something, you know not to do that. You don't follow the trailblazer, right? Find the workaround. What are
True.
they doing? Okay, so I mean, you could ask AI that, based on what you've seen, what is a better way to formulate a more efficient and cost-effective version of AI? And it'll probably tell you to do something to make it easier. Because I
Because
tried that and it gave an answer actually.
because AI can look at the other AIs and tell you how to make a better
That's
AI.
the thing. And that's how self-replicating, self-learning machines work. They go, look, we're dumping all, and that's why humans are dumb, right? They're
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, we got all these unlimited resources, just keep dumping into there, And the biggest problem that I was reading a white paper on the AI and on ChatGPT. They said the biggest problem isn't the computing power. Most people think it is. Okay,
Okay.
the biggest problem is lack of adoption. It doesn't have enough data.
Well, people are going to use it more and more, but here's the thing:
Yeah,
it all,
but
and then they'll go
who
down.
has the most data? Who has the most adoption? The
If
bigger
I say
population.
China, am I going to sound
Right?
racist all of a sudden?
China, yeah,
China,
it's China. There's a bigger population of people who use it, and that's the problem they have in North America. Is not enough people have been using it to give it the data it needs to learn.
and here's the thing: the more it's used for nefarious reasons, eh, right? Like
Yep,
making things that people don't want to see online, the
yep,
better it's going to get at it.
right. Now look at the companies that came up with it. There was Deep Seek, but
Yeah,
apparently they were using ChatGPT to using their algorithms and content and everything to make theirs better. Okay, so that's important. Okay, they were
right.
stealing stuff from them. Then they came out with Alibaba came out with one. Well, they have a huge ton of data because they've been data mining for years across the world, right?
Right.
And then you have BitDance, the TikTok parent company, or ByteDance. ByteDance.
Bite dance. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been playing with AI for years and being able to work through it and fine tuning like the facial recognition and stuff, right? Like when TikTok came out, it was like the cool thing that you could put sunglasses on, and now it's totally
Well,
different, right?
and there's another thing when you look at, and I'm going to say, I'm guessing more high school kids are using Snapchat than anything else, right?
Yeah,
And it's all filters, and I mean they have avatars. When
yeah,
when I saw the option to make an avatar of myself with a facial scan, I absolutely
yeah,
did not do it. Right?
yeah. No,
No, no. Did you? Of
I
course
did
you did.
once. Yeah,
Of course you
of
did.
course I did. Yeah,
But here's the thing.
I'm a pretty sexy looking Jack Sparrow. I'll say that.
I bet you are,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's going to be somebody's thing. Have you checked Pornhub to make sure you're not on there?
Oh God.
God,
It's
I hope
probably
not.
why
Someone's going to
what
be asking for a refund.
I probably look like a good Jack Sparrow because my eyes are kind of
You look
drunk
like you're
looking.
staring at the sun sometimes.
Yeah, so it's good fit,
That could be
really.
just genetics. But again, when you have look at all the content on TikTok. Let's just
Yeah,
unravel that pile of shit for a second. All the content is sitting on TikTok.
yeah,
You're telling and the ability to take someone dancing to a song,
yeah,
you've got movement, you've got a facial recognition, you've got all these things
yeah,
innocently put up for a TikTok challenge, whatever it might be. Getting
yeah.
turned into something other than that is absolutely terrifying.
Yes, but that's what they use it for. Is all just data mining,
Of course.
right?
Of course.
Same with the Google. Like Google has a pretty good system, and it was all trained on all the YouTube videos, the
And
speech
Google's
patterns. That's
yeah, and Google's kind of a caveman compared to what's happening in China. Like
yeah,
JT just said, China has a large population and also has a larger amount of early adopters to tech. Of
yeah,
course they do, because they built it, right?
yeah,
And you've got billions of people using it. Where in Canada, what do we have? 50 million people,
yeah.
right?
41,
So
yeah,
41
42,
million
something like
people.
that. Yeah,
So we are barely scratching the surface of this. Everybody's way ahead of us. And you're not like the data that we're putting out there could be pulled out to anywhere else.
yeah,
Like all these pictures and all these videos that you're putting up of your kids, oversharing is the dumbest thing you can
yeah.
do on social media. I'll tell you right now when it comes to your family.
Why? This is why ByteDance did not want to sell TikTok to the Americans.
Makes sense.
Why would you want to have all of our data and algorithms and programming and software and backdoors or whatever?
Isn't it funny how that conversation stopped? I haven't heard anything about
Right?
TikTok. Nothing. Have you?
You know, it's back on the Apple Store today, though, or right away.
Oh, really? But
Yep.
like, it just, that whole conversation just stopped because everything else
Yeah.
is going on in the States. That's a little ludicrous right now.
Well, wasn't just only it's supposed to be delayed 30 days? Like it should be like what's going on now.
I don't think it's even a topic anymore. They've got bigger
No.
fish to fry right now.
Well, like Canada, the 51st state.
The 51st state, just a coffee question. I can see your comments, Tash. Are you guys good? Talk about whatever. Boom, 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 boom. Going back on the chat. Sorry, guys. We got into this spiral over what could be done with what you already have out there, and it's sad. It's scary. Where was it going? 15 times.
So Apple is actually joining forces with Alibaba to use their AI now.
That's a big one because Alibaba's massive.
It's massive.
So let's just say you've got the computing power of what's happening everywhere but here, right?
Yeah.
And somebody here is dumb enough to give it a go. And it turns out to be perfect. See, this is where addiction can turn into production, right? So let's just say that you are some dipshit that decides, hey, you know what? I'm mad at my ex. I'm going to produce this thing, and suddenly it hits.
Yeah.
Right? You get that dope because you have a video that hit.
Yeah.
Well, you can do
feel
that
really
again.
good about it. Yeah.
Right. And you can do it again and again and again and again. And that gets downloaded and shared to other sites and downloaded and shared to others. And it's now a absolute life sentence to your ex-partner, whoever it might be.
Yep.
You can't change that. Right?
Well,
and
you've had videos go viral.
I've had videos go viral. Yeah.
How did that feel to you?
Well, first of all, I was surprised that my videos went viral because I'm just.
What's your biggest viral video?
The Gen X generational hate war.
Is that 684,000?
It hit over 1 million. It went. It was 684, and then I did it as a on this day from a year ago, and it went way over 1 million.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah, and
it's pretty good.
That one hit, and I was like, "That's what actually triggered." There you go. That's what triggered me to carry on with TikTok. Was the fact that I had a couple things go up, and I'm like, "Whoa, people are actually watching this stuff." And I kept on making content, and I keep on doing it, and I have fun with it. And I have some do 500,000, some do 30,000, some do 2,000, some do 500. Who knows? It's whatever the algorithm is going to push. But
mine don't hit very high anymore.
Yeah, but
I stopped.
Yeah, but mine's a little bit different though because mine's a niche, right? So I talk about social media expert. This is funny. JT, I was asking about. Did you see that video that the BPS did?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
All right. So I did a video on that, and then they actually had, of course, CBC had to pick this thing apart because reasons, right? And they had
because
a guy.
It's not okay or whatever, right?
Oh, because they had pizza pops and juice boxes for the people in the holding cells. Well, be grateful you have that. However, they had this guy on who is a sociology professor, great, and social media expert. JT told me, JT looked it up. Actually, he used the AI. So let's do that again. What the qualifications to be a social media expert are
you don't need a lot of qualifications, that's for sure.
Qualifies someone.
Are you asking ChatGPT?
Yeah. To be considered
an expert. Yeah.
Social. What qualifies someone to be considered a social media expert? And based on what JT showed me, you or I are probably social media experts, which there's not a chance that I would consider myself to be. It's nothing.
You can definitely call yourself that. 100%.
Okay, so certifications, but I don't believe there's such a thing as certification skills. Content creation, social media strategy, community management, analytics, trend awareness, and time management.
Certification, that means so little. It's ridiculous.
Dude, I got certified as a life coach.
Yeah.
Online.
That just means you got to print out a certificate.
I printed out a certificate. Do you want to know why I did this? It was during COVID.
Yep. So you can do coaching instead of haircuts, eh?
Well, technically, you couldn't do a haircut, but you could go in for therapy.
Yeah.
So I got qualified as a life coach, whatever that means. And my therapy sessions were in the chair.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I'm a certified life coach. This is a therapy session.
That works.
It's the cheapest and worst therapy you're ever going to get. But technically,
I don't know.
I'm a certified life coach.
Have you seen some of the therapy out there that people are getting?
You ever see goat yoga?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Beer yoga too.
What?
Beer yoga.
I can hit that.
There's also, if you don't like beer, there's also cat yoga.
So you just get scratched all the time?
That is, crawl around you and you're doing yoga with a bunch of cats.
Do you have a cat?
Around. No. What?
I'm just asking if you have a cat. I'm not saying you're going to eat it. I'm just asking if you have a cat. Hey,
we used to.
He's here. What happened to the cat?
Well, you know.
Things?
It was delicious.
Things happen.
Sauteed.
So. You know what? Here's the thing about cats. I believe the cats, because they are actually a perfect predator, but they're too small to kill you.
Yeah.
And they're mad that they can't.
Great stalkers, yeah.
They're
just bitter about it.
Yeah, like I would, but I can't. But in a heartbeat, I would make it happen.
Yeah, so I'm just going to wait till you're asleep and I'm going to sit in your face.
Apparently, that's not quite true, but it could happen. What you talk about tonight? Well, T, we are talking about the fact that we've had some major cases of T's in late, so I'm gonna feed her. I'm gonna fill her in here. Okay, social media expert JT. Apparently, we are social media experts, just like this dude. So
that's wonderful, isn't it?
We're not.
It's a disturbing thought.
T, we're talking about the fact that there's been some cases of adult content being released without consent, and there's been a few cases of children involved in our city, and how easy it is to produce and upload things onto some of the most legitimate sites that are out there, because there aren't any checks and balances. You have the ability to become a certified uploader or a verified uploader, which is, I don't think there's much except for probably some ID. Then you can put whatever you want up there, and there's no way.
Something too.
What's that?
They probably charge you something.
I would imagine so. You'd have to go Here's the thing. Actually, this is what what this girl did. She had the credit cards go after Pornhub and say, we will not allow our credit cards like MasterCard and Visa to be used. American Express never allowed it.
Yeah.
But she had the credit cards stop.
Yeah, if you want to stop down, you get shut down the credit card. Stop the money.
Right. So they stopped the money from the credit cards. However, there are other ways to do it. PayPal, all these other things. So, I mean, if I was in charge of anything, even locally, I would highly push local banks, credit unions, all these things to not honor any payments going to these sites.
Yeah.
Say we won't do it anymore. And that would set a precedent within our community saying, you know what, we're not going to allow anybody to pay for your stuff through here. They have to do it through crypto is the only way it's going to happen now.
Yeah.
So stop the money and you can slow down the production because no one's going to get paid.
Yeah.
And it's all about money, right? Or power. Like I would be willing to bet that these things that you're seeing happen locally weren't for the money.
But here's the thing: you could shut down all that sort of thing. But then, how do you differentiate between places like Smitten and such, right?
Smitten?
Yeah.
Well, but Smitten isn't a porn site. Smitten is a toy shop, right?
But people will argue there's still the same type of material there, right?
Do they sell movies there? They may be.
I don't know, actually. I don't think so. No.
If anybody's from Smitten, let me know.
I think that was one of the things they didn't want to get into.
Right. So if you look at a place like Smitten, which again, I will I love, 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 love. If nobody here is following Smitten on their Instagram, they have the best live
The
camera
shaming videos, yeah.
of people stealing and shoplifting from their store. I love it because it's like, I really want to know what they were stealing. Like,
Yeah,
what were you taking?
yeah, yeah.
And to
How
get
badly
caught,
did you need it? Why could you not afford that?
you couldn't have found another option.
It's
Like,
like you were willing, you knew there was a camera there, and you decided you were going to risk social media for that.
you know, but
Right?
here's the thing: if someone gets pinched stealing, I don't know, a loaf of bread, again,
Yeah,
I
you
feel
got it. You got it. Go for it. You feed your kids.
I feel for you. You're
Somebody
hungry.
steals. Somebody steals the Power Master 9000 with triple attachments and extra long battery life. You
Just
start
because
going. I don't think so.
you got to scratch that itch. I
Yeah.
mean, not a lot of sympathy, but I really wish they would start saying, "Hey, here's what they took. Real name verification also works." That would do it, JT. And that's another
Yeah.
go rewinding a bit. You're right. If your actual name was linked to whatever you were uploading, you'd be
Yeah.
very careful as to what you're doing.
You know what? That would solve a lot of problems overall. Take
Well,
away anonymous names.
but it would be because we all have handles, and here's how lazy I am. I don't even have a handle. My name is always my user handle.
Yep. Yep.
But then
That's what
again,
mine is, right across platforms. So
right. So everybody sees our name, and that's what we're doing. Like for me to do that on a sketchy site, I'm not creative enough to think of something else.
yeah. Oh, let's go to QuentinDurhack.com too. Oh, he's a real estate agent. Okay.
I am real. Well, there you go. Like the public shaming, I think is very important because once you know, and I get it, they can't. The system can't
Privacy
release
and stuff.
the
Yeah.
name of the person that did it because now you're also tying in the victims of it and the families that are involved, and like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
last one with all the daycare kids. However, would it be nice to know what that user handle was?
Yeah.
Like, who the hell was this?
Yeah.
Because how do you sleep at night? How do you like as a parent? And again, this last particular one where you're in the care, you're caring for multiple kids.
Yeah.
How the hell do you sleep at night?
How
Like,
do you let that go, right?
well, you'd have to have something in you that is justifying this. What? Okay, because here. Okay, let's switch back a bit. In Canada, it is very hard to get paid for almost everything you're posting, right?
Yeah.
Are you checking to see how much you can make on Pornhub? Type
Nope.
that in.
I'm checking something else here.
So it's very hard to get paid in Canada. In the States, it's kind of the Wild West. But here, if you're putting it up, and not saying that's better if you're getting paid, but it would make sense that you're getting paid. But
Yep.
the fact that that's a very highly unlikely outcome of what you're doing, this is just predatory.
Yep.
I had a huge issue with this on Reddit. People are hiding behind
Oh,
their
yeah.
username. Is Reddit the names were leaked of the people? Really, T? Okay, I can't. No one can see your chat. They can see it on TikTok. If the names were leaked, DM me that. I'm curious as to who it is. But here's the thing: if it's your neighbor, shouldn't you know? I do know of one.
Yep.
There was actually a raid that happened on a home, and the neighbor is a client of mine. He said he was home when they went in to the one
Awkward.
before this.
Yep.
He's like, "What the hell's going on?" Figured out what it was, and these people are sharing a fence with you. Like,
Yep.
you don't know, you just don't know, and I think that the
That's why
best.
I stand by my belief. You got to be a reacher, big ass reacher guy. You know that you got to be that warrior in a garden, not a gardener in a war, right?
It targeted him and his photography on Reddit. See, JT, you shouldn't be a target, man. You're a photographer. You do lovely work. And if anybody wants to see JT stuff, Jason Teal, he's an amazing photographer. He's from Brandon, but he's in South Korea and he does just beautiful work. Here's the thing. You go after the person. Like it would be hard to it'd be hard to not go after the person that does the things that they're doing.
Yep.
However,
I just mean if it's your kids or something and you catch that, you see somebody doing something, then yeah, you're definitely going to be making a. And again, it doesn't have to be that you obliterate the person. It's just that staring, menacing look is often enough.
yeah, someone once told me that I'm intimidating, and I just stared at them until they changed their mind. But the thing is, what do you do as a parent? What do you do as a parent? Do you hope that the system does its thing, which is what you should do? Or do you, I think you have to be preemptive about it. You have to protect your kids at all costs,
Yep.
and make sure that you're not, oh my
Well,
goodness.
well, a
T
lot of
T
people.
knows somebody that's involved with this last one, sadly. I'm
So a
sorry.
lot
I'm
of it,
sorry about that.
when it
Go ahead.
comes down to it, is on one hand, you want to be that person who's going to finish it or end it, right? But then again, if you do that, you're going to put yourself into a position of legal consequences. Now, a lot of people will go, well, nobody would ever blame me, right? Okay, sure. But then you're going to spend 10 to 15 years being unable to protect your family from then on.
Well, the thing is, do you protect your family if you do that? Because once you do that, your family's in danger forever, right?
Exactly.
So you have to have a bit of a level head where, as much as you want to tear someone apart,
Yeah.
if you do that, you're a target forever, and so is the rest of your family.
You just have to
So
make it more menacing enough that they know what's coming.
you're right. I mean, it's
Violence doesn't have to be violent, right?
no. I think
It could be
there's justifiable violence, right? I'm sure there's cases where you catch something happening, because here's the problem: if you catch it in the act, more justified than doing something about it after it happened,
yeah,
right? So if it's in the act and you catch it and you stop it by whatever means necessary, that's one thing.
yeah,
However, if you hear about it and then go after the person, it's not at the time. And how do we know 100% that that's true? Because you didn't
right,
see it happen.
right.
Like, there's a fine line between vigilante justice and protecting the people that you care about,
Well,
right?
there's a phrase in a movie that there's a it was a preacher who shot a guy and he goes, I thought there was some strong words about you killing in the Bible, and he said, I don't think the Lord said anything about kneecaps.
Right, right. JT, you have to be menacing enough to deter people from doing it for you and your family.
Yeah, it's that whatever you do to her, I'm going to do to you, right?
That'll be the speech that I give to the first person that dates my daughter, for sure. Whatever you do to
Yep.
her, I'm going to do to you, and I don't have a problem kissing another man on the mouth. That's fine.
Yeah.
It better be a
You got a
handshake.
pretty mouth.
Better
Yeah.
be a handshake, kid.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, and I believe that if your kids know that you, one, believe them when they say things, two, they know that you will protect them from everything.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest things that you have to instill in your kids, is that you can trust me to make sure that I will protect you no matter what.
Yeah.
Make good decisions.
Yep.
Make good decisions. Do not send a photo of whatever part of you feel like sending to your boyfriend, because who knows where this can happen. I'll give you an example. There was a person that I knew who a good buddy of mine, his little brother, who might have been 14 at the time,
Yep.
ended up with a naked photo of a person that I knew who was easily in her 20s. And I didn't know what to do with that, because I knew this person. And do I say, hey, I just saw this photo, or do I leave it? But then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, how does this 14-year-old kid have this picture of this 20-year-old
Right.
on his phone? It's lightning. It is lightning. It goes by so fast. And all it is you get a picture of some girl, and you shoot it to your buddy, then he's going to fire it to 10 other guys. It just goes. There is
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
control once you let that photo happen. And there was okay, let's just remember back in the day, 20 years ago, when you were a kid, your parents would have had a photo album of you, right? There'd be a
20
photo
years
album,
ago. 20 years ago.
40 years ago, whatever. But back in the day when we had photo albums, okay?
Yeah.
Could you imagine if your parents were flipping through the photo album of you with their buddies and their friend pulled out a camera and took a picture of you in that photo album?
Yeah. Yeah.
There'd be some questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
what the hell are you doing? And that's where you're at right now. Because anything out there, I can copy, I can grab, I can take it, I can scrape it, I can put it on my phone, I can put it in my computer,
Yep.
do whatever. Here's the other thing. Let's just say you're on a site, okay, a legitimate site. And again, until I listened to this podcast multiple times, I thought that
Yeah.
Pornhub was the legitimate site because
Yeah.
it seems to be the most popular one.
Yeah.
If you downloaded a video from this legitimate site and it turns out that it was non-consensual, now you're in possession of non-consensual adult content.
Yeah.
Innocently, but you're still in possession of it.
Yeah.
So without the checks and balances, you're going to have people that are going to download stuff because that's their thing, whatever, whatever blows your hair back.
Yep.
But the fact that you don't know if these people even want to be there or if they're of age, and now you have this sitting in your computer and you get dinged with it. Well, guess what? You technically you have it. There's no way around it.
That's possession.
That's possession. And again, anybody that's got this on their computer, if you've got it, you're guilty because you did it. And you didn't even know that you were doing it. That's how dangerous this is because again, the porn industry has become an addiction just like our phones have, right? It's done a lot of things to marriages, it's done a lot of things to intimacy in where people are desensitized to what is versus what their fantasy is. And it's a spiral. So if you've got this stuff sitting there, you're guilty, dude. You have it. And I just think that in order as a dad, I would pray that my kids will be smart enough to not allow anything to be taken of them or shared.
Yeah.
That's even remotely close to something that somebody would be searching for. That makes sense?
Well, most of that tends to come from parental upbringing, realistically. So I've had that talk with clients and they're going, you can look at all these young kids, they're sending all these pictures back and forth. Why would they do that? Where the hell do they think that's a good thing to do? From their parents, obviously, because you're going to tell me grown-ups aren't doing it? Like, seriously? Like, are we that naive that we think that grown-ups are not doing this sort of thing and this is where a lot of the behavior comes from?
Well,
like that's what it is.
I don't know. Like I would pray that there's nothing out there of me. There's nothing out there of me, but like I know I would never do
right.
that.
But there's people who do, man. Like there are people who just do it, or it's not even necessarily just doing that. Is just how they behave with maybe oversharing, over talking, over whatever it might be when it comes to social media. So that sort of thing carries over in different ways.
Well, here's the thing. Like our kids are quite aware that I do this and I do a lot of TikTok stuff and I do a lot of social media stuff. However, everything that I do is very, very tongue in cheek, very, I've got my shtick is my Gen X stuff. I talk about local stuff here and there. It's never thank Christ, because I'd have no audience, anything of any sexual nature, because that'd be awkward for all of us.
Yeah.
Like nobody wants to see that. Even me. I don't even want to look at that. But I guess if you have, let's just say you have somebody in the household that is running an OnlyFans, or you have somebody in the household that is shaking their booty for likes, I could see how that could influence the younger people in the house to do things like that.
there's also a sales place, like you get a person say yes to small things, and as they start moving on to say yes to more and more things, it becomes easier for them to say yes to more successive things,
Well, and
right?
like I said, the addiction happens there. So if you get a hit on one, then suddenly, like
Yeah,
the reality is, if I didn't have any growth on TikTok, I would not be continually putting things on TikTok,
yeah,
right? Um, and whether it's Facebook or any of these things where I put stuff out, I put it out there because it's fun. And yeah, you get the little
yeah,
hit because you get a like, and people comment on it, and it's generally pretty
yeah.
positive.
People like me. They actually do like me, right?
Yeah, they actually like me. Although I hang out with like I travel in large groups of one for the most part. But
Yeah,
when you have again, there you go. When you look at kids, and I'm concentrating on the kids right now because this is what they're walking into. This is what they're running
yeah.
into, right?
It's the world that they're really going to be exposed to very
They're
quickly.
sprinting into it.
Yeah,
When it comes to kids, there has to be a point where the parents need to sit down with their kids and say, okay, here's the reality of how bad your life can be if you
yeah.
do X, Y, and Z.
We
Okay.
already have those talks with our kids because it's important.
It is important because it might not be even something that they do. It's what somebody does to them with what they've done.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So I think that if you have these are hard conversations that need to happen. Like when we were kids, you know what the what was the worst thing your parents would talk to you about when you were kids? Smoking, drinking,
Probably about smoking or drinking. Yeah,
smoking or drinking. That was the don't smoke, don't drink, don't do this,
yeah,
don't do drugs, right? Now it's that supercomputer that's in your pocket that you're taking photos of yourself every day can absolutely be used against you, can ruin your
yeah,
life, can prevent you from getting jobs. Like, can you imagine a background check? Let's just say a background check is happening and you are
yeah,
going for a government job. You're walking home in the dark. Yeah. T said, walking like that was the worst thing you could do.
yeah,
And
yeah,
now it's the hobby and the addiction that we all have with social media. And I'm going to say all because let's
yeah.
face it, 99%
Everyone.
of the people have a bit of
Yeah,
an addiction to social media. Um, that thing you're doing could destroy your possibilities for any kind of life, any kind of career down the road. Because trust me, when you apply for a job, they're looking at your social media. They're going to search
yeah,
you. They're going to Google you. They're going to find out where you are, what you've been doing, what you've been putting out there.
yeah. And if it doesn't align with their corporate values or company values or their personal values, you just won't get a phone call.
But here's the thing, even if you didn't do it, someone
Yeah,
took your footage and turned it into something
yeah.
else.
You might not even know it's there, but all of a sudden you're ineligible for that position.
Have you ever Googled yourself?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Have you?
Oh yeah,
Mine is like newspaper articles and
yeah.
stuff. Thank God it's all positive.
Well,
But
you never know what you could find, right? Yeah, that's the
have you
problem.
ever asked your AI what does it know about you?
Yeah, nothing.
Really? It hasn't learned that yet?
Yeah, it hadn't learned anything yet. Now it would, but I have a profile.
I have a profile
I
too.
have an avatar. So
But no, I
hey,
think that
I gotta run, man.
yeah, I
It's
got a
getting
bolt
late.
too.
I've got to get the kids out.
But you know what? I think that it was good. I think we need to talk about this because this is hot on the news around here. And
Yeah,
I think that it's important that people understand that your kids need to be very aware of what they're putting out there and what it could do. So,
yeah.
and even as adults, your ex could be pissed off at you. There's a lot of things that can happen. Just stop. Take a second before you take that video, take that picture.
I
All I
don't
can say.
even like. We both Ange and I saw that. Neither one of us put up Christmas or birthday wishes anymore for the kids because it was like I just don't really feel the need to put some big portrayal of love to an area that's they're not going to see whatsoever.
Take her easy, JT.
And
And
it's just people don't need to know that intimate material.
yeah, I think we shared it like crazy, and now it's time to just put the brakes on and let our
Yeah,
kids. Hey, good having you here,
be
JT
kids.
from South Korea.
Yeah,
But yeah,
let them be kids.
anyway, something for everybody to think about. Really, if you got family, friends, loved ones on social media or anywhere they're putting videos up,
Yep, don't let
take
them
a
share too
second.
much.
Yeah, take a second before you start posting stuff, because who knows where it could end up, and there's really no controls to protect anybody right now.
Exactly.
Okay, buddy.
Cool.
Have a good one.
Man.
Enjoy your night. Thanks, everybody.